Feel like you're constantly getting stop signs wherever you go? Constantly feeling like their manifestation's not happening? Well, stay with me. We're going to talk about how we can turn that around very easily. It's Dan RadioStyle. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to talk about this complex manifesting process that happens in all of our lives. Most of us probably got in manifesting for one of two reasons. It's the most common anyways. But relationships, trying to get somebody into your life, maybe specific, or just want to have love, or trying to get somebody back after a breakup. Really common reasons people get into law of one or law of attraction or the manifesting, all this stuff. But also money. Real common ones. Now, of course, there's all sorts of other things, promotions. You can use it to, interact with your life in every way, shape, or form. Now, the thing that most people truly don't get, and I guess the way I would like to ask the question to you is, are you working on a specific manifestation? Is there a thing that you're trying to manifest? And many of you probably said yes. And then the follow-up question I would ask, and I think the more important way to phrase it, or are you always manifesting? And that's the thing we don't understand. A lot of us, and I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus when it comes to teaching. I mean, you're supposed to tell everybody when you coach them that they can manifest anything they want. And really, life is just you pushed out. Neville Goddard taught a lot about that. Esther Hicks talks a lot about not trying to swim against the stream, by the way, trying to go upstream. She talks a lot about just going with the flow. So I think there's a lot of wonderful people that have helped us understand the manifesting picture a little better. But a lot of us need to understand what it is that we're doing and how we're interacting. So again, a lot of us are trying to get a specific manifestation. That's kind of a bad way to look at things. It's okay to focus on something. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome. But to think that when you do techniques, that is how your manifestation is coming to be, that's not true. You manifest constantly. What you think, what you say, and what you do. Basically, your beliefs and your actions, and then the thoughts you sort of speak to the universe about this, about who you are. That is what shapes the world. That is what causes your manifestations 100% of the time. Every time you think a thought, you're putting energy towards your manifestations. Every time you speak words, you're putting energy towards your manifestation. Every time you do deeds or act a certain way or whatever, you're putting energy towards your manifestation. So techniques are meant to focus those three things towards a specific goal. But the problem is when most of us are done doing the techniques, we walk away and then we start to notice things. We start to notice, things. And this is the funny part. If you're a little nervous, a little scared, you'll start to notice that it's not happening. It's not working. And again, what you manifest, what you see, is an example of what you're thinking and saying and doing. So many people see the, quote, failure or stop sign as that, a fail. You failed. No, you manifest constantly. What it's showing you is that internally, you're a little misguided right now. One of the most important phrases ever uttered to us, and I forget which amazing philosopher said it to us, but know thyself. Many of you are like, damn, come on, you should know this. Know thyself. Most important thing you can do when it comes to living your life. So these aren't stop signs. It's not stopping. It's a pause. A stop sign, you come to a stop, and then you go. Red lights slow you down, put you in good timing sometimes. See, it's all in how you look at something. Red lights is kind of how this whole video came up for me because I was going down a road at a certain time in the morning where typically a light's always green, and most lights always are for me. And every once in a while, they're not. And instead of getting upset, which I wasn't, I just realized, I'm always in God's time. I'm always in Source's time. I'm okay. It's okay. Sometimes there's a reason for these things. Sometimes it might throw off timings where maybe I'll miss somebody that's going to go running through a red light and possibly could have hit me. You see, you don't know the unknown. All you know is everything's happening according to the plan, according to the manifestation, according to how it's going to come to fruition. So when you focus on what's wrong, rather than just seeing it as a momentary moment or even insight into how you're having a hard time or struggling. But when you continue to focus on it rather than see it for good, you get trapped into it. It almost becomes like quicksand. It grabs a hold of you and it starts to get on you. And you continue to focus on it more and more. And what that does, again, what you think, say, and do. I don't care that you did a technique in the morning. Yay. You've totally undone it all day long. All day long, you've been staring at this stop sign. Stop staring at the stop sign. Now, again, they always say you can manifest anything. And that's true. That is true. But I will say I've coached a lot of people and worked with a lot of people where literally the person that they were trying to manifest in their life, as an example, was a very horrible, egocentric, damaging person. They manipulated, they did a lot of horrible things. And what usually typically has happened is these individuals have grown through the manifestation process. They've actually started to understand themselves, and they've actually manifested a better life. And that better life actually entails getting rid of the manipulative guy. But because breakups hurt so much, we oftentimes try to get these people back, or we sometimes try to get people we can't have, or it's a common thing. And so, are we going to manifest everything we desire? No. Sometimes the answer is, believe it or not, better that we don't. We could actually harm ourselves if we truly continued to push. So you've always kind of got to look at what's going on, because the outer world is a reflection of you, your inner world, what you're thinking, saying, and doing. And so if things don't seem to be going according to your way, it doesn't mean you're not going to manifest it. It means there's something to be understood in this situation. And once you've understood it, once you've evolved from it, once you've taken a step onto this platform, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Now you are ready for the manifestation. Sometimes what we want requires a few things to happen prior. So it's going to be delayed while other things are happening. Again, it's understanding that process. I understand the red light's not a big problem in the big picture. I could have focused on it. I could have been bummed. This light's never red. Why is it red? Well, does that mean my lights are not always going to be green, and start questioning that? No. Sometimes it's exactly how it should be, and it just looks weird. So don't get hung up on it, because the hung up is where you destroy yourself. So by understanding and staying fluid and going with the flow and just understanding everything is happening perfectly, you'll actually come to the conclusions. You'll come to your manifestation. And in the very, very few tiny times where you won't, you'll understand why. And that's actually the beauty of the failures, because there's something more important there that you've manifested. You've used the failure as a way to teach yourself something, which is manifesting knowledge and wisdom. See, life is beautiful and perfect. And when you start to realize your interaction with the world you experience is directly related to the world you experience, you'll start to appreciate it a lot more, and you'll start to understand the red lights are not always what they seem. Dan, Radio Style.